Hello, 7th graders. Let's say we give 5-3 a try. Starting on page 263 in your book, we are going to be using the percent proportion to solve percent word problems. Previously, you learned about the proportion and how you use cross products to solve that. We're going to use some prior knowledge and apply that to solving for percents and parts of wholes today. A little bit of vocab and a little bit of understanding some number sense, so pay close attention here. The percent proportion is right shown here in red, the percent out of 100, which we know percents are out of 100 per 100%. So like we know 25%, we know that's actually the same as 25 per 100, 25 out of 100. So using the percent proportion, if I said 25%, I actually just get rid of the percent symbol and place it on top of that there. Looking at part is and whole of, we know that fractions, decimals, and percents are parts of wholes. They are representing something out of a larger number or smaller. And so when you hear is and you see here of, you're going to know what to put those as. So say I said I got 5 is what percent of 10, I'd be looking at putting 5 here, 10 below it, and finding out what percent that is by doing cross products. Like an example below, in the percent proportion, one ratio compares a part to a whole. The other ratio is equivalent percent written as a fraction with a denominator of 100. So it's pretty much just a percent written as a fraction, as shown here. So to find a percent, so here said, if we're looking at 22 is what percent of 110? Since 22 is being compared to 110, 22 is the part and 110 is the whole. So you're always looking at what am I comparing, right? A ratio comparison of two numbers. So you need to find the percent. So you can let n or whatever variable represent the percent. So we fill in a percent proportion. 22 is what percent of 110? So you fill in those places. Cross products, and you get 22 times 100 and 110 times n. You multiply those through, divide by 110 to get n alone, and you end up with n equaling 20. And remember, we let n represent our percent. So in this case, 22 is 20% of 110. Notice how we really just filled in what we were looking for at the top here. We filled in what percent, and that's what we found. Okay? Pretty straightforward. Got another way for us to try it here. So right away, let's just fill in and try to find and pause when you need to. We're going to plug in the values into the parts of the equation where they go, or the proportion. So 17 is, and notice I have is there, so I'm going to kind of make note of things that I read as I go. 17 is what percent. When it says what, remember that when you hear you hear what, that means you're looking for something, and we know that we put variables in place of numbers that we don't know. So what tells me I'm going to have a variable in place there of 68. So 17 is what percent of 68? So 17 is, so 17 is my part. What percent means that's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for my percent or my variable. So that's kind of what I don't know. And maybe I want to replace what percent with a variable, for example, x or n or p or whatever you want to use. And then it says of 68. So I'm going to grab 68, and that's my whole. Obviously, you might want to write this a little bit neater somewhere. So I'm going to maybe put, I'm looking for what percent, so what number out of 100 is the same as 17 out of 68. It's kind of messy. Okay, so now I'm using my cross products to solve. And I'm going to do 68 times x. It's equal to 17 times 100. And I end up with then 68x is equal to 1,700, so 7. And I'm going to divide then by 68 to get x by itself. I'm using my mouse, so I apologize for the messes. And I find out that x is equal to then 25. But remember, I'm going to add that percent symbol on because I know that I'm looking for the percent. So then it's actually 25%. You could check your answer too by filling in and make sure both simplify 25 out of 100 and 17 out of 68. Okay, so another one here below would be to try 41 and 4/10 is what percent of 92? So remembering what goes where. 41 and 4/10 is, so that's my part. What percent? I'm still looking for the percent of 92. It's really just like you're doing that division and then multiplying by 100 at the end there. So I'm going to use my cross products. 92, so the mess, times what percent is equal to 41 and 4/10 times 100. So then I get 92 times x is equal to 4,140. Move my decimal 2 to the right when I multiply by 100. Divide by 92. And I end up with x equaling 45. And remember to add the percent symbol because we're looking for what percent. So what this means is in a sentence, maybe I have my answer clicked here somewhere. I thought I did. Maybe not. What that means is 41 and 4/10 is 45% of 92. So you could just fill that in and rewrite that out. I would maybe just rewrite this sentence is 45% of 92. And you just rewrite it as a statement once you know what the answer is. Okay, so that's finding a percent. If you're looking for the part, so now if we're looking for, we know the percent and we know how much out of, we're looking for what it is. So say you're looking for to find a score on a test or something, and I want to know what is 70% of a total of 48 or something like that. You can do that by following these steps as well. So if we're looking for what is 80% of 500, maybe you have a big test, 500 points. You're going to let 80%, the percent is 80% and the whole number is 500 because we're looking for of 500, we know that's our whole. So we're going to be looking for this. And usually, to be honest, there's a little like hint in your math book. It should be on this side if you're on page 264. On the left, it should say percents. The whole usually follows the word of. Okay, and that's kind of what we learned up here as well. So we plug in. We're looking for percent. We're looking for part of 500, and this can be switched around. So don't let this confuse you that the percent's now on the right instead of the left. That's okay because it's an equal sign, so things can be flipped around. Then you cross multiply, continue through, divide by 100 to get the part alone, and we find out that a part of 500 that is 80% is 400, which really makes sense to us because we should know that I don't need that marker, that 4/5 we also know is 80%, so it makes sense that 400 out of 500 would be 80% as well. So giving this a try here, what's going to go where? If we fill this in, we're looking for what number is 35% of 48. So we're looking for what number is. That means is, we don't know. So we're going to put this up in the is, our unknown, is 35% of, we do know, of 48. Let's fill it in just as you read. So then we have 35% is equal to what number out of 48? Okay? Do your cross products. And you're going to get 680 is equal to 100 times n. Hopefully I'm doing this right number here. Divide by 100. And you get n is equal to 16.8. Remember, we're not looking for the percent on this one. We're looking for the part. So we do not add a percent symbol here. So my part, so what this means is 16 and 8/10 is 35% of 48. So you just fill that in there. That's your answer. You can give this one a try. Finding 12.5% of 88. I'm going to fill them in, and then you can try to do the cross products. What number is? So we're looking for what is. We don't know the is. We do know 12.5% of 88. Okay, so use those cross products to solve. Finding the whole. So this time we're going to know our is, we're going to know our percent, and we don't know of. So 32 is the percent. The part is 14 and 4/10, and we don't know the whole. So we plug in is percent, looking for of, looking for our whole number, cross products, continue, divide to get the variable alone, and we end up with our whole of 45. Meaning then that 14 and 4/10 is 32% of 45. Notice how we asked a question up here, and then we end up having an answer when we're done. So again, giving these ones a try, filling in 23.4 is, we know our is, 30% of, we're not sure. Do your cross products. You're going to multiply across 30 times x, or w, whatever variable you want, is equal to cross products of 100 times 23 and 4/10, which is going to be 2,340. Divide by 30. For our whole number equaling 78. So what this means is 23 and 4/10 is 30% of 78. Not too bad. And then lastly, give this one a try as well. I'll set it up for you. Don't let the decimals fool you. 19 is, so I put in my is spot. 62.5%, put in my percent spot. What number? Put my variable in where I don't know. Lastly, in review, these are the types that we're looking for. This would be a great thing to pause and copy down. So if you're looking to find the percent, 7 is what percent of 10. So that means you're going to fill in, when you're looking for the percent, your percent is your variable. Finding the part, what number is. So your is your variable. 70% of 10, this is how it's set up. And find the whole, 7 is 70% of what number. Okay, and it's going to be set up here. So I would definitely copy this concept and summary down. It's going to be super helpful for you to just make sure you know you're setting it up right based on the type of problem. Okay, percent's greater than 100. This is possible. Like you can get 100 more than 100% on a test or quiz or something. So 6 is what percent of 5? 6 is being compared to 5, so 5 is the whole. 6 is the part. You need to find the percent, so you let n represent it, or p, or whatever you want. Set it up. 6 is. Okay, so you need to remember that that's the part out of 5. How much out of 100? Cross products, continue on. Divide to get your variable alone. So 6 is 120% of 5. The reasonableness is, since the part is greater than the whole, 6 is greater than 5, it does make sense for it to be more than 100%. Okay, give this one a try. 12 is what percent of 6? Okay, so you're going to put those in that right spot, and then give that one a try as well. Last real world example in your book, it's the check out the example that has answers in your book, and then this is right below it on page 265. Camilla answered 23 questions correctly, so she got 23 out of her test score and received a 92%. So we're wondering how many questions were on the total test. So you can do those and then set that up and solve, okay? After you do your cross products, you're going to end up with 92x is equal to 2300. Divide by 92, and you're going to end up with a total test score of 25 possible points. Of course, since it's a word problem, you'd write out a sentence. There were 25 questions on her science test. Hopefully it wasn't a little too long for you. Don't forget, rewatch, notes, other examples. Hopefully this isn't too bad. You're going to do a great job.